Okay, we're ready. So welcome to the California Air Resources Board Refrigerant Management Program, December 2024 webinar. We'll start with some introductions from the refrigerant management team. We are the people answering your phone calls and responding to your emails. My name is Van San, and here's my colleague.
Hello, I'm Arius.
My other colleague.
My name is Nathan.
And our manager.
This is Dongmin Luo.
All right. Let's start with some logistics before we get started. This presentation will be recorded. The video, a copy of this presentation, and a user manual will be available on our website at the end. Okay, thanks. Here are some webinar guidelines. Everyone will be muted. If you have a question, please write it down in the chat. Staff will be available to answer any type questions in the chat box. We'll do verbal comments at the end of this session. And remember, if we don't get to you, you can always call the RMP helpline or email us at rmp@arb.ca.gov with additional questions. We'll have all that contact information at the end. For today's agenda, the presentation will be split into 3 separate total sessions. At the end of each session, there will be a Q&A to answer any questions relating to that session. There will also be another Q&A session at the end to answer any other remaining questions. Right now, we'll do the session for general users. The topics we'll cover will be common terminology overview, regulation overview, key requirement, overview of updates, new user registration, we submit your annual report, payment update, existing user registration, manage users, and finally, weighted average GWP greenhouse gas potential report. Starting off with some commonly used terminology, GWP stands for global warming potential. For the purpose of this regulation, high GWP refrigerants are those with global warming potential of greater than 150. We classify systems into 3 size categories: small, medium, and large. Small systems contain 50 pounds of refrigerant, but less than 200 pounds. Medium systems contain 200 or more, but less than 2,000 in pounds. And large systems contain more than 2,000 or more pounds of refrigerant. We also classify facilities or physical locations into size categories. The size of your facility is determined by the largest size system at that location. There's some more commonly used terminology for appliance architectural change. That's when a characteristic of the refrigeration system changes, such as the full charge amount, refrigerant type, equipment type, or operational status. A service record is any servicing event on a refrigeration system. Examples include a leak inspection, leak repair, seasonal adjustments, etc. And the refrigerant registration and reporting system, or R3. It is the online tool used for reporting under the refrigerant management program. The RMP regulation has been in effect since the beginning of 2011 for all affected facilities, regardless of the size or the type of facility. The reporting, however, didn't start till 2012 for the 2011 calendar year. At its core, the RMP program is an inspection and maintenance regulation that focuses on finding and repairing leaks promptly, thereby reducing the emissions of high GWP refrigerants. On average, complying with the regulation can save companies money due to reduced refrigerant purchases, since less is lost if the systems are promptly repaired. And there also may be less product loss because of more reliable refrigeration systems. The RMP program applies to stationary, non-residential facilities with refrigeration systems containing more than 50 pounds of a high GWP refrigerant. It also applies to refrigerant distributors, wholesalers, and reclaimers, as well as to technicians who service, install, or repair refrigeration or air conditioning equipment to the extent that they must have an EPA certificate and follow the required service practices. Here are some key requirements for facilities with refrigeration systems. For facilities, repair leaks must be done within 14 days of detection. You need to keep records for service and refrigerant transactions. Contractors and technicians must follow required service practices. You also must conduct periodic leak inspections and file an annual report and pay the fee. And this only applies for medium and large facilities. For distributors and wholesalers and reclaimers, you need to keep records of refrigerant transactions and file an annual report. Now, we'll give you an overview of the updates. So here's the list of the improvements that we have made to R3. R3 is now using Salesforce, which is a cloud-based customer relationship management software platform. Using Salesforce allows us to provide better customer service when an issue arises. There's now enhanced security features for Okta. We created a catch-all button called appliance architectural change to replace options such as shutdown, merge, update facility, retrofit, size, etc. We also created prompts for people to help understand where quirks of the websites, such as if you were to create an appliance, a prompt will show up. If you were to add an automatic leak detection system, or you accept a facility transfer, there will be a prompt when you're using R3. Now there's a notification for a user to accept a transfer facility. The reporting for distributors and reclaimers is now smoother. For batch uploads, we greatly improved the loading time. You can now resubmit an annual report in case if you made an error and want to correct it. We also removed paper checks. E-checks will be available in January 2025. Overall, the changes to make were to make the reporting easier and smoother. Now my colleague Arias will show the updates.
Yep, so hello everyone. So this is the page for you to access when you first time log in, and everything you need to know and function that will be on the quick link section or under the registration. And to manage user, we have the first tab, second to manage your company information, and then the third most important is manage facility. Select close transfer facility or closed facility if it's applicable. And next. So now we are going back to the first step one, where new user can start with their registration. So click on the login / register button on the right side. And then there will be a pop-up box that require you to log in or register a new company. Select either one of them. And then from here, this is where you will see all different type of ownership. We have the first three, that is company with refrigeration facility, refrigerant distributor or wholesaler, refrigerant reclaimer. And there is a possibility that one company could be all three in the same type under one. And then the new update for this website is the appliance servicing company and third-party reporting company. So if you select company with refrigeration facility, refrigerant distributor or wholesaler, refrigerant reclaimer, when you log in with one email, you can only use that one email only. You cannot use that same email to create a new one or register a new company. So the only option for you, if you want to manage multiple company accounts, either select appliance servicing company or third-party reporting company. Even though your company does not function as those two titles, it is okay because we can review your information from the back end, and those two options is the only two available for you to manage multiple company.
Okay.
And enter EIN number, click next. And step two, and user and company profile. So this is where you fill out all the information for yourself, your company, your facility, contact information, and mailing address. Yes, step 2 is 2.1 is to accept a term and condition at the end of the page, and click next. So after you successfully register your account, you will receive an activation email sent to your inbox. This link will expire in 7 days, so try to activate your account before then. After clicking on that button, it will take you to the next page. Then it will open up and allow you to set up your own password. And next, and with the step 3.2, please follow the requirement for the password setup. All of them will need to satisfy the criteria in order for the password to be successfully set. And after you finish with your register and able to log in, click on Manage Facility and select the facility that you would like to report. So this is the page where you will see all the information for your facility. We keep the same tab with the legacy before. Just the removal of number of each tab, but we still keep the color indication the same. So green mean in compliant, red is need something complete or incomplete information, and gray out is not applicable. And with this one, we remove a pop-up box that's often annoying for the user. So it's just a prompt question for you to add new appliance when you're having a new facility. And then after you adding up an appliance, it will ask for you whether you have an ALD system. If not, it will take you to the leak inspection and service. This is where you can input all your leak inspection service record and then check for the compliance checklist. So it is very important to check the compliance checklist section because under description, it will show what is the requirement for your leak inspection of your system. And then after successfully putting all the required leak inspection in, you will see the color change to green, and now you can proceed to file the annual report. So the deadline is still stay the same for March 1st of every year. So for 2024, that will be open on January 1st, 2025, and will be closed on March 1st, 2025. Even though we say close, but you can still report after the deadline. And select the year just to file. Yes. And after successfully, and with the new one, we have a new feature that allows you to resubmit your annual report. So before, if you submit your annual report already, you have to call us and we have to delete it and then you go back to file. But now we have the resubmit button for you to actually put in all the information again and resubmit for more accuracy reporting. And with annual fee, so RMP will no longer accept paper check for payment. And we are planning to implement the pay by ACH at the end of January. So for right now, there's only option for credit card payment. And because the March 1st is the due date for the annual report and the fee, so please, if you would like to pay by ACH, please wait after January 2025, and then you can go ahead pay with the ACH option. And then so we are just finished with the new user. This is for the existing user. So with the existing user, on Monday, we already sent an email to all the user who has correspond to one of their company, require them to activate their account and register and set up Okta. So if the user already have Okta, they only need to set up the password. And after login, user will see their associated company. So I know that we do have some scenario where you got assigned to the wrong company or your account got access to only one, but it's because multiple. So we are working with our IT team because if you already registered using that one email for that one company, you will no longer to be able to access the other one. So please send us an email and describe your situation and we would resolve one by one. And Again, so for user managing multiple company, user need to register using a new email, register at appliance servicing company or third-party reporting, because that's the only options that allow you to manage multiple company accounts. Next. And yes, and with that change again, so remember one email equal to one company only. And then because the previous website legacy, it allowed you to use one email but multiple different username. That means you have to use different login credential for one, but now if you use for appliance servicing company or third-party reporting, and we are able to add all of your company that you manage, you will see all the facility under one. Next. So we have the first example. If company A and company B hire technician C. So both company can add the technician C as the appliance servicing company user or third-party company user. And technician C will able to access both company A and company B. But the first thing is we will need to have a dedicated company admin from company A and company B activate their account first in order for them to add technician C into their account. Second scenario. And with this example two, company A could be both distributor and wholesaler for their own company, but they also provide leak reporting service for other companies such as B, C, and D. So we would need one person from company A to set up themselves as the company admin, because they only manage the operation and report for company A exclusively. And the second email is to register as an appliance servicing company user or a third-party company user. So the second role will allow servicing and reporting for both company A and other company B, C, and D. Next. So under the user listing, so before you only have the user listing section to add either one more person or more for company admin or company or facility admin. Now there's a section that say add appliance servicing company and add third-party company. So with this two, company admin can select a third-party reporting company or appliance servicing company to grant access to their own. And with the weighted average GWP and greenhouse gas potential report will be all the same. So nothing changed. You can access the GWP report by navigating to the register dropdown, select company management, click on your company, and it will take you to the edit information. Scroll down to the bottom, click on the weighted average GWP and greenhouse gas potential report. And for help, you can contact, we have the SFC reduction at arb.ca.gov. This is the dedicated contact if you have any question or concern to your GWP report. And here is our video demonstration for a user to go through the facility reporting.
Hello all, my name is Nathan Marshall, and I will be performing a demonstration of some of the functionality for the new R3 tool for you today. We will start by logging into an account. In this case, I will be using an account that has multiple ownership types. While this may not apply to your company when you use the tool, it will be more inclusive and allow me to demonstrate the wide range of features for all ownership types. After logging in, there will be a useful quick links section on the right side of the page. The full navigation menu will be displayed at the top of the page, with several buttons and submenus to navigate to specific tasks. Manage Users is useful for adding new company or facility administrators to your company. For example, if you have a larger company and want to have other dedicated staff members with their own access to the R3 tool. Right now, for my company, Acme Corporation, there is only one active user, John Doe. The Add User button under the Users Listing section will be for either adding company or facility administrators, while scrolling down, the Add Appliance Servicing Company and Add Third-Party Company buttons can be used to allow servicing companies and/or third parties to access your R3 data. For example, if they perform a repair on your refrigeration system, you can have them be the ones that have permission to input the data if you have arranged that with them. The Add User button will have similar data fields to the data you filled out for your own account upon creation or logging into the R3 tool for the first time. Moving back to the home page and into the registration menu, we can navigate to Facility Management. This is where the bulk of the functionality for companies with refrigeration facilities lies. As you can see here, my company, Acme Corporation, has one active facility named Warehouse A. If you are a newly registered user, you can also press the Add New button on this page to enter new facility information. But for the demo, I will use a facility I have already created. We can click on the hyperlink to take us to the facility information page. This will be the area where all the information for the specific facility you clicked on will appear. Notice the tabs at the top. We have 6 total: Facility Information, Appliances, ALD System and Services, Leak Inspection and Services, File Annual Report, and Annual Fee. I will navigate to each of them and talk a little about what to expect from each page. A quick tip, however, notice both the year drop-down box and the coloration of the tabs. In this case, I am looking at records for the year 2020. A green line above the tab means that it is properly filled out and in compliance. A red line above the tab means it is not yet in compliance. And the gray line means that that tab has not applicable information. For example, if your facility has a small or medium-sized refrigeration unit and does not use an ALD system, then the ALD System and Services tab will be gray. And you can select a different year, and the tabs will automatically update with information pertaining to the new conditions for the tabs. So for example, I changed to 2022, and I have a couple more red tabs that I have to fill out. Back to 2020. Moving on to the next few tabs, we will go over the Appliances tab right here. So under Appliances, it looks like I have one appliance named Freezer A. Notice some of the key points on the information chart. It's a freezer. Its full charge amount is 4,000 pounds. It was installed on December 29th, 2020, and it uses R404A refrigerant. You will input all of this data as it applies when making your own new appliance. And because it has 2,000 or more pounds of a high GWP refrigerant, it is considered a large appliance and therefore must have an automatic leak detection or ALD system. You can see this tab, the ALD System and Services tab, shows that it does have an ALD named ALD1. Scrolling down, you may also notice that it has an ALD service record. ALD systems for large appliances are required to be calibrated or audited annually. So here the record shows that there was a calibration performed on December 30th of 2020. The next tab up at the top is for leak inspection and service. It looks pretty similar to the ALD System and Services tab, but it instead applies to leak inspections and services done to your appliances directly. The Add New button under the leak inspection and service listing would be about how you'd go adding a new leak inspection record. Also notice the leak inspection service record is shown for December 29th, 2020. This one has been auto-generated by the system. It will show initial refrigerant charge under service type, and the other relevant details that you entered under Add New Appliance will show. Looking at the bottom of the page, you'll notice the Appliance Compliance Checklist. The Appliance Compliance Checklist is an important part of your R3 tool usage. This chart will display each of your appliances at the selected facility, as well as what sort of leak inspections are required by the system depending on the details of the appliance. As I mentioned before, Freezer A is a large system, so therefore the text displays an ALD is required, or automatic leak detection system is required. And because I already have one set up, we get a nice green check mark under this tab here to show that we are in compliance. Next, we have the File Annual Report tab. This is where you will file your annual reports for each given year of operation. So let's jump right into the hyperlink for the year 2020 on the left. The File Report page will then display all relevant information to your company, your facility, your appliances at said facility, your automatic leak detection systems at said facility, and servicing and leak repair information. Hyperlinks are provided to each of these for easy access. Once you have verified that all the information is correct and check each box that applies, which I will go ahead and do right here, you can continue scrolling down to the bottom of the page. These two checkboxes in the middle will be grayed out assuming you have complete records added to the system, but you will need to check them to acknowledge that you either have servicing record data or automatic leak detection service record data that is incomplete if it applies. Then we will have a chart to fill out with refrigerant purchase information. You can select the Add Row button right here to add more than one type of refrigerant if you own multiple types of refrigeration systems. For example, let's add another refrigerant. We'll do R11. And we'll say we charge 1,000 pounds. Okay. You can also select the Make All Blank Fields Equal to 0 button once you've filled out the relevant fields for each information type, and it will fill out the rest with zeros just for ease of use. All right. Now, all we have to do is click the File the Annual Report button, and it brings up a confidentiality claim and a final checkbox for e-signing and verifying that the information is true and correct. So let's say it's not confidential and that yes, we certify the information is correct, and we can submit the annual report for 2020. It'll take us right back to the File Annual Report page. And this time, once we select 2020, we'll notice we get a green bar at the top. And you can see that John Doe, the person accessing the account right now, has filed the annual report on this date. Now we can move on to the last step, which is filing your annual fees, right here, this tab. This page will show the relevant fees and report status for the facility that you're looking at. On the right-hand side, you can click the arrow drop-down menu and select Generate Invoice to generate an invoice. Another tip, if you're responsible for multiple facilities, you can press the Generate Invoice button and then select Generate Invoices for other facilities to lump multiple facility fees into a single payment. At the moment, we're only accepting credit card payments, but we hope to add functionality for e-checks by the end of January 2025. It includes the demo for the new R3 tool. I hope you found this demonstration informative, and I wish you all the best of luck using this new tool to submit your data. Goodbye.
So when a staff notice an error in R3 registration, you can notify us by email or phone number. If you make a clerical error by selecting, for example, a system with 6,500 pounds or R448A, but you only meant for 650, you can call us and we can help change from the back end. And anything like company overtaking the building and the system is listed at R22 when it's appeared to using R404A. So any clerical error we can change from our end. But if there's a real change to your system and physical change, then it must be done by selecting the appliance architecture change by your own.
Okay, that concludes our session for general user. Now we're gonna move on to the Q&A. So use the raise hand function, press *9 if you're calling by phone, or you wanna submit your question or comment in the QA box on Zoom. Also, please state your name and affiliation before asking a question or making a comment. So let's just start with the questions that were submitted in the webinar chat that we did not answer. Nathan, you wanna? All right.
Okay, so most of the questions.
I do want to reiterate for people that just joined us recently that we will provide a copy of this presentation, a video of this presentation, as well as a user form, user manual on our website, and we'll provide the links later. Yep.
So we have Jesse, so let answer here. Jesse. Yes, so I can see Jesse say I'm installing / replacing 4 unit over 500 pounds. What can you allow Jesse to unmute himself?
We ask the participant.
Yes, you would need to report if you are installing, replacing a 4 unit over 500 pounds. Yes. And next one from Joey. Why was the change made in terminology from refrigerant system to appliance? I find it confusing from the industrial refrigeration perspective. So applying it is to shorten out when we are putting in the report, and I would say it's easier for us when we read it as well as writing it down too, because it's just in one word rather than refrigeration system. It is longer and might not be suitable for future use. And next one from Manuel. What if our equipment is rented? Do we report it or the company that rented it to us? So the company who are using the system must report. And so it's not possible for a user to correct clerical error in R3. Yes, so a user, if you already submit your information in, then it stay there. Because if you make any changes, the system will think that you are doing some physical change or a retrofit, apply an architecture change to it. So if it's just entered by error, you can call us and we can fix it from our end. And again, for any issue related to unable to log in company or you don't receive any activation email, please reach out to us by email directly because we will review one by one. We cannot live troubleshooting on our Zoom section, okay? And the copy of presentation will be available on RMP website afterward. If you are a small, so you can check for registration on your company by when you register your company, you have to enter your EIN number. If it's already registered, then it would not allow you to register again, and you can give us a call or send us to check whether anyone have been registered your company beforehand. Because they have multiple staff in the past, or for a specific company they register, but they are no longer using it, we can still allow you the access to that company information and make change and continue reporting on this year. And yes, for Natalie question, it seemed like a specific question related to your own facility. I recommend to send us an email and we will take a look at that. And if you are registering new equipment and you don't have all the information that the system asks for, please just based on your best estimate and the information that provided by the technician that's working on it. As long as you correctly report the refrigerant usage and the charge, then that should satisfy mostly of the requirement. And we do have the number, so the number will be shown in the next slide. So if you this question is from Beth. So if you're for those of us that use refrigerant management software, for example, crew and bill data upload, we expect it to process the same manner within the updated platform. So yes, so it still can, so the new website still accept the HTML upload and it will process faster than the old legacy, but you have to satisfy because we do have some new enumeration using it.
And we'll talk more about that in the future session
Yes.
later, yeah.
Oh, yes, question from Phila again. How do we know if we are compliant for a year of small facilities and we don't pay fee or submit annual report? So again, you are in good compliant if you have a green color status on your tab. If it's grayed out, then it's mean not applicable. So to check for compliance for a small facility, just look at your green color for facility information tab, appliance tab, and the leak inspection tab. So if you have all three green for those three, then you are in good compliance for a small facility. Question from- Yes, so if you have system, refrigeration system that have more than 50 pound refrigerant, you will need to register on RMP. And again, small facility does not have to submit annual report or fee payment, just have to submit the leak inspection. And question from Jane, would changing the refrigerant type from R44A to 44AA would be considered retrofitting under RMP protocol? Since two different type of refrigerant are being used, are there a distinct method of reporting and filing at the end of the year? That will be considered on, so the new term we would call appliance architecture change. You can select what type of refrigerant you are changing to. Is there a set tool? So with the old website, the tool, all the information there is transferred to the new website. There's nothing locked between. So when you're able to log into your company, you will see all the facility and company information there. Question from Zodi. I will see what's wrong. And look at, so we have anonymous attendee. How do I access EIN? So EIN is your own tax ID number of your company. Next question, Frank, we are trying to log in. So question from Frank, please email us through our email inbox. And then Steve Goff again. So is CAR planning to incorporate AMX requirement into RMP and would be later to development?
No.
Amen question. Yeah.
Well, I think I responded earlier, and yes, we'll consider amending the RMP and to align with the MAC in the future.
Is there any more?
For whom is the 1130 XML and XSD session intended for?
Batch upload people. Yeah, okay.
So yeah, for question from Daniel Fahey, for whom is the 11:30 a.m. session intended for about XML and XSD? Those will be the users that use the batch upload functionality on our new site to update lots of information at the same time.
Okay. Is that it or? We're gonna do.
Or anybody ask a question
Yeah.
online? Just remind.
Okay, okay, now we're gonna do, we're allowing you to talk now. We'll do an order. Please raise your hand. Okay, select the first person. Okay, Eric Vitano, you're allowed to, your chat is, your voice is, you're allowed to speak. Please go ahead. Please unmute yourself. Okay, we'll move on to the next person. Okay. Please use the hand function on Zoom if you want to speak and ask your question or comment right now. Okay, we have Javier Padilla. Please go ahead.
Yeah, just a
You need to read.
Oh,
Here again, you did.
okay.
Go ahead and unmute again, Javier.
All right.
Right.
I was just gonna ask, I've been entering the RMP for our company for like, 10 years or something, but what is the AIM Act and difference between that and, just curious about that.
Well, there are some new features from the US EPA's NMAC, and we are still in the evaluation stage, and we don't have a timeline for the amendment at this time.
And Javier, if you send us your email, we can send you links to the AMAC as well, and that way you can see the whole regulation, the federal regulation on that one.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, Rafael Correa, go ahead.
Hello, good morning. Oh,
Good morning.
a little bit of
Rafael, we're getting an echo on your end, and you just muted yourself. Please go ahead and unmute.
I just step out of the room.
Okay.
The question is like, can we install units over 250 pounds in California?
So what's the question?
What was your question, Rafael?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you
Yes,
now.
we
Yeah,
hear you
yes,
now.
yes.
So can we, what's the law or what we can install as big units? We have some big units at 250 pounds per unit, so we want to know like we're allowed to do it or what's the case on that?
Yeah, if your unit is over it's not a household refrigeration unit and it's over 50 pounds, you need to register the unit with us. And depending on the refrigerant as well, the refrigerant being used is over the goal warm potential is over 150, and the refrigeration appliance is over 50 pounds, you have to register with us.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, but are we allowed to install it? So is any restriction on that?
Yeah, it was a commercial facility like a grocery store. You can install you can install your refrigeration system in the grocery store, and you got to contact the company owner. And it really depends on what you're using it for.
We're a meat processor plant.
Okay,
With-
that's commercial, so yes.
So there's no restriction. I can just install it. The only difference is that I need to register the unit with you guys.
Well, yes, you can install it and then file your report to us. And then we can help you from there. We'll have to look at your system, the type of refrigerant being used, and the purpose of your of the refrigeration system, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah.
So again, RMP, we are not the program that provide any license for you to install your equipment. You can contact Building Standard and Safety. That is where you can get the information whether your system can be installed. We are just the program that allow you to report the refrigerant usage of your system. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, we have here about the law that is like they're not letting install units over 50 pounds. So that's why we are also concerned if we can actually install them.
Yeah,
don't
so
know.
for your question, it is, we have a sister section that called HFC reduction. That is the same. Please check the slide later. That's a GWP report with the HFC at ARB.gov. That is the section that made the regulation, and they can answer the best whether your company is applicable to able to install any high GWP equipment in the future, say beginning on January 1st, 2025.
Or you can
Okay.
send us an email, and we will make sure and we'll forward your questions to our colleague.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Raphael.
I think that's all.
Okay, let's move on to Jesse Flores. Please go ahead. Go ahead, Jesse.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. We have a total of 4 chiller systems in our production facility here. 3 of them are 45-pound refrigerant chillers. And I just want to make sure we would only have to register in the big section of the application if these were over 150 each, correct? Or is it for the total of 150 for all inclusive?
No, the 150 is the global warming potential of the refrigerant being used.
Is that
not
per unit?
No, so it is the largest unit. So if you have 4 units, so each of them is 45 pound, then
Yes.
there will be no need to report. It's only if 3 of them is 45 and 1 of them is 100, then you would need to report all of them, but we only look at the largest system to see what is the category your facility belong in. So if you have the largest is 100, then your size small.
Yeah, so I think so I take it back. 3 are 45s and 1's a 90. So even with the 90, we wouldn't qualify for the over 100, correct?
So the threshold is 50 pounds. So any refrigeration system with a high GWP refrigerant over 50 pounds will have to register. In your
Okay.
case, 90 pound system would register as a small facility, and you would be
Okay.
required to report that.
For the 1 unit only, correct?
No, for all of that, because we would need to know you have one of them is 90 and the rest is 45. It's just we have the information there. There's no harm with inputting all of the refrigeration system exists on your facility.
Okay, perfect.
And when you're
Thank you.
reporting, we want all your refrigeration systems in the same facility. That's why we ask for all your refrigeration systems.
Okay, now is there a minimum, for instance, like air conditioning, stuff like that wouldn't qualify for this, right?
Yeah, air conditioning would be considered comfort cooling, and that's correct. It would be exempt.
Okay, perfect. All right, that's it.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Jesse. Okay. Please use the raise hand function if you wish to speak. Okay, Kurt Mitchell, go ahead.
So the gentleman that was asking about the 250-pound unit, was there not a law that passed that we can only do 50 pounds at a time now, or is there's some kind of application that we can do over 50 pounds now?
We don't determine if you can install the refrigeration system or not. Yeah.
So you're not really answering the question other than I think that same gentleman heard about a law that we can't buy and install anything in California that's over 50 pounds.
Can you email us that law that the gentleman is referencing? If you know then we'll look into it and get
I
back to you.
just know that 2 years ago, I had to buy a bunch of equipment that was over 50 pounds because the law was changing and I got it all ahead of time, but that's just from what I remember a couple years ago.
So that is the SFC law that is determined by the error sister section is SFC reduction section. So it depends on the purpose and the type of gas that you are installing or buying that will be banned. So there's a quite range from January. So say there's some type being banned since January 1st, 2023, some more type in 2024, and more restricted type in 2025. So for any refrigerant ban question that is specifically to the SFC reduction section, is not the section that made the regulation that ban on the refrigerant or.
But my question wasn't the refrigerant, it's the size of the unit. So you can't answer that question, right?
So if you have any system that is using more than 50 pound high GWP of refrigerant, then you would need to report.
No, I get that. I get that. I just thought that we couldn't do anything over 50 pounds anymore. All right, I'll look more into it then. It sounds like that it's a moot question. The other question was, what size units do I need to report quarterly?
If it's over 50 pounds.
Not
No,
quarterly,
not quarterly, it's medium facilities, right? It's 200
It's the
and
inspection systems, but not reporting.
Yeah.
Reporting is still annual.
So the size of ban continue.
now for the size, for the leak inspections, it's medium and large. For the quarterly, I'm assuming you're saying for the leak inspection report. Am I correct?
For the reporting?
Okay, for medium and large facilities, you need to do an annual report.
All right,
But the inspections are quarterly for medium.
There's one of my units that it's requiring me to do quarterly, and I never understood that.
Should be.
We don't have any requirement that report quarterly. It's just the leak inspection required every 3 months. That is applied for medium size equipment.
All right.
Okay,
Next.
You should move on, I think.
we got, let's go Gabriel Pareto. Go ahead.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. I was a little late into the meeting, but I just want to clarify a couple of things. So systems over 50 pounds of refrigerants are supposed to be registered into the tool, correct? And now, for example, this is for a district, a school district. You know, you have schools that have different systems within a site. So if we have a system that it's over 50 pounds in one of the buildings, and then the other ones are package units, 5 tons or below, are we supposed to register them all together? Because for example, in one building, we might have a central system, right, that has over 50 pounds.
Yes.
In the next building, we might have package units that are 5 tons or less.
Okay, I understand. Yeah. So we see as two different facilities that they're not connected. So the one over 50 pounds in that part of the school would be considered the reporting facility.
And only the equipment on that facility will be reportable, right? Let's say if I have a 50-pound system in that specific building, plus a few other systems within that building, then all of those systems will be reportable.
Yeah, if the buildings are separate, but they're two separate facilities, if the buildings are separate at that point.
Correct. Okay, so let's again, So let's say I have two buildings for the sake of an
Okay.
example. In one building, I have a 50-pound system, right? Plus two other 20-pound systems in that building. Then the two 20-pound systems plus the 50-pound systems are supposed to be are supposed to be reportable. Is that correct? And on
Yes, because it's 50 pounds, yes.
plus the 220 systems are supposed to be entered into the tool.
Yes, because it's part of the same facility, yes.
Okay. Now the next facility only has 5-ton units. So that facility, which is separate within the same site, then is not required to report.
What was the size of that second facility?
It's 5-ton package unit.
Oh, 5 tons?
Yeah.
5 pounds?
No, I'm sorry. Let's say 5 pounds. Yeah, let's say 5-pound units or 10-pound units.
Okay, it's under our 50-pound threshold. So yeah, you don't have to report that one because it's a separate facility and it's under 50 pounds.
And what do you consider separate facilities? That there has to be a distance?
Different buildings. So whatever refrigeration system serves that particular building. So
Okay.
if on a school, let's say you have a cafeteria and you have a portable building. If the refrigeration system is not connected to like a duct or any hallway, then they're two separate facilities because there are two separate refrigeration systems.
And so a wall can divide the two facilities too. Does it need to be any?
Yeah, go
Do we
ahead.
need to have physical separation? That's my question. For
Yeah.
them to be considered two separate buildings, or can I just a single wall divide the two buildings and we consider them as two separate buildings?
It would really depend on what your refrigeration system is cooling. If your refrigeration system cools both buildings somehow, then that is just
Oh, yeah.
part of one facility.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Welcome. Okay, Jorge Leon, please go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yes. So my facility is a medium-sized system, and I
Okay.
currently have a chiller that's 48 pounds in refrigerant, 410A.
Okay.
Took it out of my system because they said that it didn't qualify for to be registered for the AQMD. Is that something that I have to register now?
So it is impossible that your facility is medium when your system is 48 pound.
No. I have different refrigeration systems. That chiller is not the only one I have. I have like I would say 10 pieces of equipment, 10 different refrigeration systems, but my facility is classified as medium size.
Yeah, it goes by the largest refrigeration system of that facility.
Correct. But my question is, that chiller that I have, it's 48 pounds. Is that something that I have to register now to the system?
It's below the threshold, so no.
Okay, because I think the guy before me said that he had 4 chillers. One was 90 pounds and the other ones were 45. And you're telling them to register all 4 of them.
We encourage it. That way it'll be part of the system, and that way we can help you if you have any questions regarding it.
Okay.
Right.
But you're saying since it's below the threshold, I'm not required to register it?
Correct.
Okay.
If it's just one single system. Okay, in the interest of time, we need to move on, and we also have a QA section at the end. And also you are welcome to send us email if you have any specific questions.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. do this one, okay. Here's our contact information. Okay, we'll start the next session, which is my colleague Nathan will present.
Okay. Hello all, my name is Nathan and I will be presenting session 2, which will be a section on distributors, wholesalers, and reclaimers. We will start with an introduction and what classifies as a wholesaler, distributor, or reclaimer, and then we will go over the sign in and file report functionality for all three groups. So what exactly classifies as a wholesaler or distributor? In short, it is a person or business to whom a refrigerant product is sold for export, subsequent resale, or delivery to a technician. This also includes any person who imports refrigerant from outside of the state to distribute or sell it to a certified technician, the employer of a certified technician, an appliance manufacturer, or another refrigerant distributor or wholesaler, or anyone who acts as an agent or broker in buying refrigerant. And what classifies as a certified reclaimer? A reclaimer reclaims refrigerant from out of service or outdated refrigeration equipment for future reuse or sale. A person who is a certified reclaimer is in accordance with Title 40 of the Code of Federal Regulations, Part 82, Section 82.164. They also must keep records of refrigerant reclaim as well as transfer, which can all be accessed via the R3 tool. Once you have navigated to the landing page, click the Login/Register button in the top right of the page to get started. Next, assuming you are registering a new company, you will click the Register a New Company button that pops up. If you have already registered, you can click Login and provide your credentials to access the site. But I will continue explaining as if I were a new user that would like to register their company for the first time, and I will make a note of when the new users are caught up with the further explain the functionality for existing users as well. After you click to register, you will see the checkbox menu on the left side to select which type of company you are registering. This includes companies with refrigeration facilities, refrigerant wholesaler and distributors, refrigerant reclaimers. Do note that your company can possess multiple ownership types. So if that applies to your company, then you can check any or all boxes that apply. Also note on this page, you will fill out your company's 8-digit EIN or employer identification number. This will not be able to be changed after finishing entering the information on this page, so it will be a good idea to double check that it matches your records before proceeding. The next button at the bottom of the page is after scrolling down a bit. Next. On this page, you will fill out all of the information as it applies to your company. Starting with the user profile section, enter the first and last name, email and verify the email, and the telephone number of the user in question. Then for the company profile section, fill in company name and company start date of operation. Do note that the EIN will be viewable but not editable in this section, but verify that it is correct before proceeding. Continue filling in the contact person section, and note that if it applies to your company, the user profile you are accessing the site with and the contact person can be different if needed, but it also may be the same person as above, so fill out accordingly. Lastly, fill out the mailing address section as it applies to your company's mailing address, and select the checkbox to accept the terms and conditions. Proceed once again with the Next button at the bottom right of the page. All right, now that new users are caught up with access to their company account, we will provide the next steps in registering the facilities and filing the annual report. First, you will navigate to the Annual Reporting tab at the top and select Wholesaler, Distributor, Facilities, and Annual Reports submenu. This will be a similar step for reclaimers as well. It will just say Reclaimer Facility and Annual Reports instead. Continue. Then you will click on the blue
Add New button under the Facilities tab. This will allow you to add a new facility under your company. However, if you were an existing company in the legacy R3 tool, your facilities should show up under the display chart. When you are ready to enter your facility information, complete the following fields. The company name will be auto-populated. Then enter facility name, start date of operation, location address, as it applies, and click the validate address and confirm that it is a correct address. Next. Continuing on, you may either select the checkbox if the company contact person is the same as the facility contact person, otherwise enter the following information. First name, last name, position, phone number, and email. And lastly, your business codes for the facility, which includes both NAICS code and SIC code as it applies to your facility. The Submit button will be at the bottom right of the pop-up menu once again. And after submitting, your newly added facility will show up in the chart under the Annual Reporting tab and the Wholesaler Distributor Facilities and Annual Reports submenu. Here is an example of what it will look like after submitting and navigating to the menu again. The chart will populate with relevant information for the facility. So for example, here we have our company name, Acme Corporation AC, and the facility is labeled there, Acme North Distribution Center, ANDC. Continue. Now I will move on to the final part of this section for filing your annual reports. It will start with the same steps as registering a new facility, but you will instead navigate to the Annual Reporting tab at the top, and then select, again, the Wholesaler Distributor Facilities and Annual Reports submenu just like before. Now, click on the Annual Report tab. This will bring up a selection of years in which you can file your annual report. Select the year to file for by clicking the button that displays the relevant year. Notice the column on the right labeled Status. This will either show filed if you have completed the annual report for that year, not filed if you have not yet completed the annual report for that year, or not applicable if it is a year that does not apply to your company. For example, if your company opened in 2020, all years prior to 2020 will be labeled not applicable. Go ahead and go next. Once the year to file has been selected, it will prompt you to double check and verify both company and facility information with links provided for your convenience. Select each checkbox if the information is correct, or go back to correct it as needed, then proceed. Here is where the data will be slightly different whether you are a wholesaler, distributor, or a reclaimer. For wholesalers and distributors, you will have to enter the following information: the type of refrigerant, the total amount purchased in pounds, the total amount sold in pounds, and the total amount in pounds shipped to a certified reclaimer. And if your company is a reclaimer, you will instead enter the following: the type of refrigerant, the total received in pounds, the total claimed in California in pounds, the total shipped out of California in pounds, and the total refrigerant amount destroyed in pounds. Finally, you may click the blue File Annual Report button to file, and it will bring up one last menu to declare confidentiality under California law if applicable, and also to agree to the terms and conditions one last time. After you file, it should display Filed under Status of the previously mentioned menu. It will also display the name of the person filing and the date in which they filed, in case you have multiple users that have access to your company. Okay. If there are any more questions, we will continue with a second Q&A section. Remember to use the *9 functionality if calling by phone to raise your hand, or if accessing from the Zoom app, you can use the raise hand function there. Please state your name and affiliation before asking a question or making a comment.
Okay. Let's see here. Okay, we have Gabriel Pareto. Okay. Go ahead, Gabriel.
I am sorry. I left my hand raised. from the
Oh,
last time.
that's okay.
Let me just.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Do we have any questions in the chat?
Let's see.
Okay, you guys want to
There's
move
one
on?
question in the chat.
Okay, since there's no questions in the chat, there's and no one has any questions for this session, we can move on to
There
the,
was one question.
oh, we got one question, go ahead.
What if, this is a question from Jody Smith. And it looks like they're asking if your company is a distributor and also a servicing company with locations to file the leak inspections, can one person or one email be used for both situations?
That is, no, you cannot. You have to register one for distributor and the other email to provide services to other companies.
Okay.
And some question, not sure when to ask about editing equipment. So again, so if you may, when you enter in the information for the equipment, if you may by clerical error and enter it in it, you can give us a call or email us. We can help you change from our end. But if there's a change in model or refrigerant type, refrigerant type, operational status, then you would need to do the appliance architecture change.
Okay.
Any other more chats?
Oh, one raised hand. it looks like.
Okay, okay, Stanley, go ahead. Stanley Davros. Please unmute yourself. Go ahead, Stanley. Okay, we can always come back to you, Stanley. Okay. And work. Please go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can.
I asked about updating or editing equipment. We've had our equipment registered for some time, so we have had changes in compressors and refrigerant, and I don't know how to change that in the reporting. You said to do something with architectural something?
Yes, so it is under the applying tab. There's an option for you to select the equipment and do an applying architecture change.
I've tried to change it on the computer before and it doesn't let me. It lets me change, if I remember right, the compressor, but not the refrigerant. One or the other, it's not letting me change it.
Have you tried with the new website?
Those areas that I wanted to change are still grayed out.
Yeah, so that is more specific to your facility only, so send us an email then.
Okay. But if I could do it on here, I'm looking at the page right now. What would I look at?
I cannot know what page you're looking at.
Well, you said I would click onto what?
Appliances tab and then
Yeah.
appliance architectural change. It'll be a button towards the bottom.
Towards the bottom? Okay,
That'll be
I'll have to,
fine.
I don't see that, so I'll have to call
Okay.
or send an
Okay.
email. Thank you.
You're
You're
welcome.
welcome. Thank you, Anne. Okay, if there's nobody else, we can move on to the next session.
So this is the section that we will talk about the batch update. So next. And this So with this section, we will begin with the general information, some changes in the XSD document, comments, question, example XML, and how to batch import for new user, and some common errors. So to show some background about the XML batch upload general information, it is a method to upload a large amount of structured data in one file. The reason we are using it because it saves time and from manual entry, from handling both data and ensure consistency and accuracy. It just simplify data management processes. Yes, so with the update, we do have the some element renaming. We update some of the name for consistent, some new more views, and more simplified categories, so broader group for easier data management, some improve on the document, more clearer description for each of them, and we remove some legacy enumeration, and we added some option to meet the modern needs. First, for example, the renaming term. So instead of using the refrigerant system, it's now is appliance. So with the previous XML, the whole term is refrigerant system servicing status is very long. We changed it to appliance service status for shorter. A new value, we added a few more type of refrigerant, simplify more categories. So before we require users to select a specific type of leak repair method, but now it's just more broader term. So it's easier for user to select. And update element instead of retrofit is now changed to art change. And same thing, retrofit detail, same thing, art change detail. And some comment question that we got from users. So if a user would like to resubmit something for previous year by XML, and how would they do it? So with the new website, we would ask the user to review an XSD and select the available enumeration that is accepted by the new website. If you use any enumeration from previous website, it will not process. And same apply to the new changes. You have to comply. You have to use the available enumeration required in XSD. If you're not using it, then the system is not process your file. And with that, with the previous website, when you upload the XML file, whatever type of change you made, like update, adding new, or just an info viewing informations, it can process all, but with the new website, the limit, because the permission they implement that we have to specify which action the user would like to perform. So we have the new update info. New, you can use new when you want to adding new facility, adding new appliance, and adding new service record, because it will create a new entry. You cannot update anything if you are selecting new. But if you want to update, so after adding new, if you want to update something, you can use the update action. So you can modify some of the existing record, like installation day and equipment type. Installation day and equipment type cannot be updated. And then change it required. Any change it will need to be used from the XSD available enumeration. And info is just for viewing or retrieving data, making small specific changes. Some common so the common question we got about permanent shutdown and final refrigerant removal, that if you are selecting permanent shutdown removal, it will indicate that appliance is permanently decommissioned and will never be used again. So any refrigerant, you cannot use it on the system again. Select, and if you are planning to use again in the future, you can select the final refrigerant removal, because it means that you are planning to use it sometime in the future. Okay. And ALD service type difference, and we got these questions as well. So an audit is mean like when you perform just a perform action on by checking all the specifics, like the number is correctly and the specification is set to the right value. You do not make any changes on the ALD system. That mean audit. And calibration when you are making some changes on like fine tuning for accuracy or revise the number of leak detection limit or cap or number, then you will select calibrations. And again, so this is the appliance architecture change. So before you have to do the retrofit, now is you are using appliance architecture change. If you want to make the changes for the system in any way, such as you are change the equipment type to a different one, then you can select new equipment type. If you want to change the operational status from normal operational status, mothball, or seasonal, select the new operational status. And then if any full charge amount change, select the new full charge amount. If you change in the refrigerant type, select new refrigerant type. And this is how to batch upload for new users. So when you log in under the registration tab, at the bottom, click on batch upload. Then it will take you to the page where you can put your title and click on the upload file and select your XML file, or you could drop your file in here as well. So when you drop your file in, if there's any error in there, there will be an error message below. That would require you to go back to your file and review your code to make some changes. So the system could accept and process your file. Here is the first XML example for a new equipment. So we have first is the name. Action is new because you're adding a new one. Then you have to enter installation date, model year, and then a smaller specification for the system, then operational status. Okay. And this is for the service record. So after adding the refrigeration system, you can add the service record by is there a leak repair? So this seems like a leak repair and a leak detector is yes. And you have to fill in all the information for refrigerant amount added, removed, what kind of method for testing the leak. And then at the bottom is the technician information. Then this is the ALD section. If you're having an ALD, you can add it as well. Just asking for the the name of the facility and all the detection limit, alarm set point. And we do notice that is the concentration monitor manufacturer. So we are missing the other. So for right now, if your system is not on the list, please select the default is TRANE, TRANE, and then send us an email so we could know your facility is currently is not having the other option to select. And then when we have the IT developer working, finish the update, we can change it from your trend to a different type or to the other. And we have that at the end is you select the associate applying, which is B for this case. And yes, so we have time for some comment and question.
Do we have any questions in the chat?
Yes, one.
Yes, so for a crystal section, if you upload XML, you can always manually add entry if it's missing. And that is, we recommend that way so you can ensure all the information is there. If because some fields require and some fields not, and it is true that you should enter manually if there's some missing on the XML.
Is there any more in the chat?
No.
Okay. Okay, Brandy Stratman, please go ahead. You're unmuted.
Hi, Brandy Stratman. I was wondering, so now that we have to specify what we're doing, whether it's new or update, if it's an existing system and we're adding service records, is that an update or?
Yes, that will be an update or info. So under the facility, you can put update or info, and under the appliance, you can put update or info. And just because service record, there's no need for action.
Right.
Yes, just update or info so the system know that the system is already exists and
Okay.
change it or not change it, update or info.
All right.
Over. Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Brandy. Okay. Feel free to raise your hand if you want to speak and ask us a question or make a comment. Okay, all right. Okay, now we're gonna open the open Q&A. So this is for any questions you want to ask. Please raise your hand. Okay, we got Jesus Garcia. Go ahead. You're muted, Jesus. Please unmute.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Awesome, thank you. So I just wanted to clarify. Let's say, for instance, I have a system on site that is 90 pounds, and I have two others that are 40. Because I had the 90-pound system, am I required to also register the 40s?
I remember it's recommend
We
to report.
We recommend you to report it. That way we have a good idea of what's in your system, what's on your facility, because they're all usually connected. This is especially when it's in the same facility. But we don't require for the under the 50-pound ones.
Understood. Okay, great. And then my second question is, if I have, my understanding is this is strictly for refrigeration. So if I have an air conditioning unit that's 90 pounds, but it takes refrigerant, because it's an air conditioner, is it exempt or is it still required to be reported?
Okay, if it's used only for comfort cooling, and you can prove that to us, like in a office or a computer server room, then that's exempt, even though it's over 50 pounds. But if there's any connection to any refrigeration at all, then it would not be considered only commercial cool. Only comfort cooling.
Okay, so if it was greater than 50 and it was used strictly for comfort cooling, it wouldn't need to be registered in the R3.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Any questions in the chat? Or
No.
oh wait, we have a Jose. Joseph, go ahead.
There we go. Can you hear me?
Yes, we
We
can.
can.
Oh, excellent. So I'm rather new to this. I just had a generic question. I had asked earlier, they mentioned only inspections are required for systems smaller than 50 pounds, correct? Would that have to be, sorry, go.
It has to be bigger than 50 pounds.
I had asked and they had mentioned that it's systems smaller than 50 pounds require an annual inspection.
No, it's an annual report.
No, so if you have a system less than 50 pounds, it's not applicable to us.
Yeah.
Only if you
Yeah, so
have
are-
system that is more than 50 pound and under 200 pound, that is required.
Yeah, you mentioned small size equipment only need 1 leak inspection per year, so and less than 50
Yes,
pounds.
correct.
So
Okay,
small is,
thanks.
small is
Well,
between
I don't know
50 and
because
200.
I don't know. Okay, and then I just wanted to ask, because I'm rather new to this, would that be an inspection done by an outside contractor, or would be, say, I can perform the inspection myself?
Yeah. It should be done by the station with the EPA license.
Okay,
Yeah.
understood. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Okay. Do we not have any? Okay, if there's no questions in the chat or if you guys do not want to raise your hand or you guys are done with questions, I do want to remind everyone that here's our contact information. You can call us or send us an email, and here's our website. And here's the website for the R3 reporting system. Okay, that will conclude our webinar. Thank you, everyone.